On to you, Leos. So you have the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and then you Leos have the Magician. Things seem to be going well for you, Leos. A lot of you Leos don't really have a whole lot of stress like that. Your life is going well. Things are in place as it is that they should be. So there's this sense of you Leos basically having enough spare time for you to do whatever you want to do. And what you Leos in your life, and what you Leos want to do is you want to essentially connect with yourselves more spiritually, even more. The reason why is because the Queen of Swords, you have put those worries behind you. And see, this is what it is that I was talking about putting problems behind you and solving problems. Because part of what keeps a lot of people's brain and mind and thought process on an animalistic level, to where they don't get more in tune with themselves and their own spirituality, is the fact that, well, part of it is the fact that they have so many problems. They have a lot of problems that are compounding in difficulty, right? They're becoming more difficult with time. So the situation with that is, this is to give up the game. This is why it is I was saying that if I'm going to be in somebody's life, they would have to actually solve their problems, right? Because a lot of times in today's world, I'm just gonna say what it is, because I don't care, because I'm not playing the game, nor am I interested in playing it or being in it. What'll happen is that people like problems. They don't want to say that, but they like the dysfunction they do, because this is where the whole idea of this is where the whole idea of this is where the whole idea of how do I say this? Not necessarily wanting to, if they have a significant other, not necessarily wanting to say what their problem is, or saying their problem to a significant other, but not necessarily wanting to solve it. They want their significant other to essentially listen in and things like that or whatnot, and to connect with them on an emotional level and all of that, and listen to what they have to say, right? But then the person will still come to their significant other again and again and again about the same problem. And then when the person is like, all right, how long have you been telling me about this same issue? Are you going to actually do anything about it? Or are you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You don't want somebody essentially on you, or whatever the case may be, immediately because something just happened. But when time passed, how much time should go by and you still complain about the same issues? What's going on here? And then they defend their own problem. That's dysfunctionality. That's a person showing you what type of relationship that they like. They like problems. This is another reason too why it is that I say you got to be very careful. You got to be on point. You got to be very careful when it comes to really understanding who it is that you hanging out with, because people are dysfunctional like that. If the person ain't helping me get rid of all of their problems, not a single one, all of their problems, it's like, nah. And I'm talking about the problems that are unnecessary. I'm not talking about the problems of getting up and going to work every day. No, those are necessary problems. I'm talking about the ones that are meant to teach you a lesson, but you don't necessarily need to have it in your life per se. And see, this is the connection, right? Because of what it is I'm talking about. Because that's part of why a lot of people end up being NPC bots. Is because they like the dysfunction. When certain things physically are taken care of, The bills are taken care of. You have a way of taking care of the bills. That puts you in a very good position to where you do not have to be sitting up there stressing so much about where money is going to come from all the time. So guess what that does? That opens the doors for you Leos and anyone in general to start thinking from a more spiritual perspective, because you have your animalistic survival needs met. See what I'm saying? So then you have the Eight of Cups and the Page of Wands. And these two cards right here speaks to how, again, the connection with that, with your divinity, right? And understanding that not everything is about money. So this is why it is, or survival. This is why it is that I was saying, right, yesterday for you Leos, that a lot of you are on a different level because you can afford to not necessarily always be thinking about where your next meal is going to come from, these bills and all that other type of stuff, enough to actually, think about things from a much more spiritual perspective. A lot of times people can't think of things from a spiritual perspective when they're hungry. But the problem is that when you tell them what it is that you got to do to stop being so hungry all the time, right, for that, so that they can eat, they don't want to actually do the work so that they can eat, so that they don't have to always be chasing after a bag. Because you shouldn't be chasing after a bag. That's a lot of game right there. You shouldn't be chasing after a bag after a certain point. After a certain point, if that bag is not chasing up on after you, you got a real problem. That's a whole other story for another day. Because so then you have the Four of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, and then you Leos have the Judgment. Right? The Judgment. And so what I mean what I mean by that is what I mean by that is for you, at what point will this person understand and I don't care? Anyway, so the Four of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, and the Judgment is about you, Leos, basically. You Leos have gotten to a point where you don't even care about a person judging you, because you're realizing that that's not even about trying to get other people to particularly like you. See, now you Leos are getting somewhere. Now you Leos are talking about something, because you Leos are now beginning to understand on a more deeper level. It ain't even about whether if people like you or if they don't. It's not about that. You know what I'm saying? Because the truth is that the more authentic you strive to be, is the more people are going to now not be authentic with you. So you Leos gotta understand, and that's what's happening. The more authentic you are, is the more authentic people are not going to strive to be. They're going to have a problem with you, like it is I was saying before, right? I don't say it much, but I probably should start saying it a little bit more. They're going to have a problem with you, Leos, right? Because of the fact that you Leos are doing your thing. They don't like authenticity, as I keep saying, right? Because this whole reading is about me showing and proving that a lot of people are not really authentic. A lot of people will tell you that they want their problems to be fixed, but then do they actually, though? When a significant other tries to help the other significant other solve their problems, why, if they didn't like the problem, why are they trying so hard to not let the person and themselves together solve that problem? It's because they like the problem, but they fronting and making it seem like, oh no, that's not what it is. No, it is what it is. It is what it is. But they just don't want to say it out loud because they know how dysfunctional it is, because it is dysfunctional. And see, you Leos are not existing on that level anymore where, again, you at the foot of the mountain, people are completely absorbed and consumed in dysfunctionality and all that stuff. You Leos are on a higher level. Now you got to the level where you don't even care if people like you or not. That's some high level stuff, because they not gonna like you. They just not. They not. Um, the more honor and integrity that you have, they not gonna like you. Dysfunctional people are not gonna like you. They will come up with lies. I remember someone came to my house from the cable company, and basically didn't even actually do their job, just left and told a lying report, talking about how it is that my room was filthy and all this straight lies. And I'm saying here, and me and my family, we're talking about it, and we're like, can you imagine what this goofball actually just said and did? The mere fact that this person came into our humble abode, our residence, right, our apartment, and then they got the nerve and the unmitigated gall and the audacity to come up in here, ain't even do their job, run back, and then tell a whole lie. Big lies. Talking about how it is that my room was messy. I had urine in a bucket. I'm like, no, that's water in a bucket. Because, you dig what I'm saying? This is some old time country stuff. Because remember, I come from Trinidad, where technology ain't up to par to what it is that they have in the States like that. So you got it. So Trinidad is still a very non-technological. It's becoming a little bit more of that, but it's a very non-technological country. So more often than not, you got to come up with a lot of creative ways in order to solve the problem for what it is that the lack of just automatic technology that you don't have due to the fact that you're there. So what happened? When you put bucket in the room, let me teach y'all something, right? That I learned from being a woods person, basically. When you put a bucket full of water in a room, right? Especially if it's cold, it acts like an AC, an air conditioner that cools down the room. This is what this person was talking about, was urine in a bucket and all this goofy stuff. Like straight lies that this goofball basically was telling. Straight lies that this goofball was basically telling. What are we doing right now? And see, this is what I'm talking about, right? This is what I'm talking about. They'll say and do things goofy like that. Page of the page of Pentacles and the Strength card, which is Leo. You just have to control, like what I'm trying to say here is that you Leos are learning how to control. You Leos are learning how to control your mind better, and you're realizing that a lot of these people are goofballs anyway. So let's clarify the Strength card. They goofballs. Okay, let's clarify the Strength card. You have the Seven of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, the Lovers, the Seven of Wands, and then you have the Scorpio energy. So to clarify the Strength. So again, right? Best thing for you to do is, if you need a social circle, go out and make new friends, because you can. Because a lot of the people that you Leo's kicking it with, they're not really on your level, right? And this is the conundrum of being high up there. You will begin to hang out more by yourself. And then you have the Lovers, right? The Ace of Pentacles, Lovers, yeah. Even find a significant other. It'll be difficult finding a significant other, or a little bit more difficult because of that fact. And then you have the Seven of Wands and the Scorpio energy. Person really is. See, there's another thing too. There's this misconception that being with a real one is easy. No, it's not. This is how you know a lot of people are weak. Because that misconception of being with a real one is easy, that's not true whatsoever. Being with a real one is harder because you actually, if you stand next to a real one, you actually going to experience life and life challenges. But the way that they making it seem like you have goofballs that'll make it seem like, oh, if your life is if you made things right between yourself and the divinity or whatever, then all of a sudden things would be easy. Let me tell you, these people are basically, these people are full of it. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. I'm at 17,013, I think. I'm growing, y'all. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set the notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos.